Hey guys,
Welcome back to Forward Farming.
happy Monday, Becca. How the heck are you?
I've been better. I have been, been better. It's a Monday, that's for sure.
I feel you. I feel like just a lot of things are going wrong today, but you know what? That's okay because the day is almost over and tomorrow's going to be better, right? It has to be better.
We can hope, yes.
So today we have a fun episode, kind of a timely thing. But before we get into all the fun details, let's do some highs and lows because it sounds like you've got some stuff you want to talk about for this week.
I sound hostile or something?
No, it just sounds like you're having a week and it's only Monday. So what's going on in your world?
Well, let's see. Last night we got a message from daycare that pretty much just said like, hey, there was a confirmed case of COVID. We'll keep you guys updated. We're doing a lot of cleaning, yada yada. So I'm like, okay. It's like school age kids can wear masks if they're able to, whatever. And then today, like right when I went to pick the kids up, we got another message that said that our like county health department advised the daycare to close down for 2 weeks. So yeah, I have no daycare for 2 weeks now, which is sweet. They didn't really give us like any details. I don't know how many people had it. I don't know who,
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be kind of nice to know. Like it's just like, hey, we're closed. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun 2 weeks because Joey obviously can't take the kids to work with him. And while I'm able to, it is not easy working with children on the farm. It's not very safe, especially with harvest and everything. So I don't really know what we're gonna do yet. Probably gonna have to talk about it when Joey gets home tonight. But Sophia can still go to school at least. We got that going for us. But we still have Jackson and Joe to worry about.
I want to go too.
You're gonna go to school.
No, I don't want to.
I feel your pain, Sophia.
She says it's boring.
Well, maybe she needs to go up a grade. Maybe she's just too smart for all those little kids.
You're too smart for school. Can you tell Amber what you're gonna be when you grow up?
Everything.
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 She wants to be a dentist and a firefighter and a police officer and a mommy. What else?
And a doctor.
And a doctor.
Oh, I was expecting a dinosaur.
A
Yeah, she's gonna be rolling in the door.
Oh yeah.
Good for her. Yeah, so maybe she does need to go
And
up
a
a grade.
butterfly.
And a butterfly.
And a butterfly.
Wow.
You are gonna be a busy girl.
That's
And
what
a
I'm saying.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So that's my low. We're just kind of
Mommy.
I don't know. We'll figure it out, but it's kind of it's hard to lose it so fast.
Yeah, I can't imagine having to take 2 little babies with you to work. Good. I hope everything works out okay and you get some help along the way and that it's not too stressful. So sending you lots of peace and love. My low, let's see. We're almost done with harvest. We're not having the best crop year. So I am back full time every day during harvest, at least. I don't know what's going to happen after we're done, but I think we're going to be done by the end of this week. So by like a week earlier than we normally are. But I'm tired. Like Porter isn't sleeping the best at night. And then having to get up and get him shipped off over to my parents and then work all day long. I'm kind of dragging. My eyes are red. I'm a little sleepy, but it's good. He's a happy baby. Otherwise, I can't complain too much because when he is awake, he just kind of sits there and smiles. So it's easy at least. But we're making it through. We're almost done. And hopefully I can take a nap pretty soon.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, it's hard enough to like go back to work after you have a baby, but then like you're going back and you're like in the busiest part of the year. So it's like,
Yeah. And I took 5 full weeks off, almost 6 weeks off. So I mean, that's not a lot, I don't feel like, but I mean, you got stuff to do, baby or not. Harvest is harvest, and you gotta get her done. So I'm hoping I can get a day or two off a week after harvest is done and just chill, because he's getting so big. He's 2 months old this week, and he's already fitting into 6-month clothes.
oh my gosh.
He's just a big guy.
How much does he weigh? Has he been to the doctor lately?
No, he goes in at his 2-month appointment. So he gets his vaccines and stuff this week. So best of luck to us. I have no idea how much he is. He's got to be, I don't know how much he is. He's a handful. He was 8 pounds when he was born. He's got to be like 15 now.
So Jackson was, I think 13 something at his 2-month appointment. His 2-month appointment was really like 2.5-month appointment because I don't know how to adult and I didn't make the appointment quick enough.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, you'll have that.
I was lucky that they made these appointments for me while I was still in the hospital. They didn't even ask me like if this date works. They're just like, nope, we scheduled this appointment for you and blah, blah, blah. So you don't have to worry about it when you get home. So that was nice. At least I didn't have to worry about making my appointments or his appointments for the first 2 months. So go
nice.
Team go.
Yeah. You know, they made like my first couple like in the first month or two, and then they expected me to adult all on my own, and it was pretty rude.
I know. They really baby you when you're in the hospital, and all of a sudden it's just like, bloop, you're on your own. Good luck, Chuck. Don't die. Don't kill this child. Let's see. Some highs for the week. My high, this weather has been pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, this October has been a-okay. We haven't had too many rainy days. I don't think it's been too cold. Like this morning when we got up, it was like 38 or 39 when we started working, but the sun was out and there wasn't any wind, so it felt super warm. And then I was in a t-shirt this afternoon, and it's the 18th of October. That never happens. But
it's been pretty nice. We got oh my gosh, these kids. We got quite a bit of rain last week. It seemed like it rained for like a week straight and like no sunshine. So we were out of the field for a while, but it finally dried up enough that Joey could finish combining beans yesterday. So that'll be my high. We got that done. It is nice out. I think like Wednesday is when the temperature drops, and then it's like really cold, but
yeah,
I'm gonna soak it up until then.
I think this weekend will be a good weekend to get out hunting. I think it's getting to that point.
My parents are coming to visit this weekend, so we're hoping to maybe sneak away for a day, but my goodness. So yeah, we're hoping to maybe sneak away, but at the same time, I'm like, we don't have electricity when we go to the woods. So I'm gonna have to like manually pump, and that doesn't sound like fun. So I don't really want to be gone that long. So we'll see when we make it, but
yeah, I don't even have like trail cameras out or anything. So I have no idea what's stomping around out there. I didn't get around this year.
You're probably gonna have a bunch of dinosaurs now.
I know, and I'm
can't keep track of them.
I'm actually gonna see them this year, and I can't show you guys because I don't have any proof of them. So if I might have to, like,
it is.
I might have to clip a GoPro to my hat or something. Just if I go missing, I'll just have a live stream going from my hat.
Yes.
So maybe that can be a podcast episode if we get desperate enough. I'll just have like a microphone hooked up to me and you can just hear my dramatic reactions to being in the woods. I hate going in the morning, so maybe I'll suck it up for you guys and clip a microphone to me in the morning and you can hear all the dinosaurs and Sasquatches that I hear.
Gorgeous. I don't like going to my stand in the morning either. I literally keep my head down and I just keep moving forward.
Just hustle.
And Joey's always like, you have to walk slow so you don't start sweating, otherwise you'll stink. And I'm like, I hardly sweat and I'm not gonna stop and let something eat me in the middle of the woods. Like, I'm gonna keep moving until I'm in my tree stand.
I just keep my eyes on the ground so I know I'm not tripping over anything, and then I stop when I hit my stand. That's it.
Exactly.
Oh shoot. Okay. You have any goals for this week?
Let's see. My goals. I say survival, but this week I'm really gonna survive the next 2 weeks. Luckily, I don't have like a ton of things to do at the farm, and it's slowing down a little. So I'm hoping that I can just stay on top of things, and I don't know, maybe a few days I'll be able to get home before Joey leaves for work, so then he doesn't have to bring the kids to me. But we'll see.
Good luck. This week, I have a lot of little projects I've been kind of working on, so I'm just, my goal is to figure out what the heck is wrong with my computer. We'll stick with that because it seems like every time I fire up my computer, it's updating, something is happening and I don't understand what's happening. I opened it today to record this with Becca and all of a sudden it's saying that my computer didn't update and it's undoing the changes that the update couldn't perform, which makes no sense. So my computer is just sitting there spinning for what, like 20, 30 minutes, just undoing changes that it didn't complete from the update. So I'm getting a little mad. So if you guys have good laptop recommendations for me, that's not a stupid Samsung. Maybe I just need to put out another reel on Instagram like I did with my internet and just start complaining about Samsung, my laptop. So then someone can reach out to me and be like, hey, I have one you can try.
That'd be a deal. I could use one too because the screen on ours broke. It just popped open one day. So Joey has it taped shut. I mean, the screen still works. It's just like
the screen popped off.
It's hard to describe, but yeah, like the screen, it's just like there's a big gap on the side. I don't know how it happened. Joey like literally just opened it one day and it broke. So he's got it taped, but the tape didn't work. So you just have to be really careful when you open it and close it.
Yeah. So technology problems again. It's not just rural living, it's just all sorts of technology. We could use a help. So if you guys have good recommendations for laptops that won't break the bank, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that's the worst part. We've got an HP, which we have really liked, but screen thing kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I always dreamed of owning a MacBook, but they're so expensive.
Right. I'm tempted to look into iPads, but I wouldn't be able to hook my microphone up. I don't think they have like a USB plug in it, but that would be nice.
I don't think they do. I know you can like buy, I guess I don't know how that works, but sometimes you can like buy an adapter.
I wonder if you had like AirPods, if the microphone on that would be good enough.
Could be.
I don't know. Something to look into. Maybe we need to make
it's nice because you can get like a keyboard for your iPad and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be nice for like editing pictures and stuff too, but
yeah,
that's a topic for a different day.
Yep. If anyone wants to, sponsor the Ford Farming computer / iPad equipment, let us know. We can enhance your experience a little bit more.
Maybe we need to start like a GoFundMe page or something.
For rural internet and computers.
Oh shoot. Okay, so before I get too flustered because I'm already there. Let's
because of my children, because I'm flustered. I apologize to anyone watching this YouTube video because half the time I mute myself, but I forget I'm still on video. So I'm like talking to the kids and you guys probably think I'm weird, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Until I can figure out how to edit video, which probably isn't going to happen anytime soon. You're just going to get the real raw, unedited version. So
yeah, and it's too much work to
Cheers.
mute myself and stop my video. So it's just, we're going to mute myself.
Anyway, so while I talked to Becca's hand, today we wanted to talk to you guys about advocating, agvocating, explaining. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Talking about what we do for a living.
Yes. Talking about how to get involved in the industry outside of your own farm, how to be a voice for not only yourself, but your industry that you farm for. So social media is obviously a great place to start. But there's so many more options out there to explore as well. There's a lot of people that are interested in what you're doing on your farm, and there's a lot of people that are becoming interested, especially in women in agriculture. So Rebecca and I kind of wanted to talk about our experiences with that and tips and tricks for you guys to kind of get involved if you're looking to get involved, and where to start and how to start, no matter where you're at in your ag career or in your life. So Becca, what do you think? How do you feel about being an advocate? Is that what you want to call yourself?
No.
Or are you just a farmer?
I am just a farmer that is sharing what I'm doing. I don't know why that word just, it irks me.
Advocate?
I don't know why. Yes. I don't know why. It's whatever. People can call themselves whatever they want. We won't get into that debate, but I just like, I don't like that term. I don't like the term influencer. I don't know. Something's wrong with me, but I'm a farmer and I like to share what I do. So there you go. That is me. No, but
well, Becca, that's going to make for a really short podcast episode. So give me
something else. No, I think it's really cool. All the things that you can do on social media to kind of share your story, but at the same time, you can go to the grocery store and spark up a conversation with someone, or do a podcast interview with someone, do interviews on TV like you've been doing. Like there's so many other ways that you can be an advocate, and I think it's just cool that you can kind of find the best way for you to share your story and then kind of go from there. And it's been fun. I mean, I really like social media, obviously, just because you can kind of do things on your own time. When you have time to post, you can post. When you have time to do stories and stuff like that. Whereas, if you're doing like interviews and stuff, it's a little bit more of a time commitment. But it's been really fun to kind of get invited to like talk to random groups of people. I mean, I'm like, why would you want to talk to me?
Mm-hmm.
But it's really fun just to share your story too. Most of the time it's been college kids for me. And it's fun to share the story of how I got to where I am, because I don't have a very conventional story, and just kind of share my love of agriculture. So yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is I kind of got involved in the industry before I started my social media page. Like I kind of was getting involved in different ways outside of social media first. So like with us, we have the Wisconsin State Cranberry Growers Association, which a lot of growers are members of. And my family has been members since like this association was founded. And like my dad has been president of this organization. He's been a part of a lot of different committees, a lot of different things. And he always encouraged the kids to get involved. So my brother and I, like when there was Ag Day at the Capitol, we would always go. He'd always take my brother and I down to the Capitol, Madison, and talk to our what are they called? I obviously love Ag Day at the Capitol. Talk to our representatives There we go. And just kind of lobby for, just kind of be a
Talking to
lobbyist.
you and I'm on mute, so I apologize.
I thought you were just talking to the kids. I'm like, okay,
I was
I'm just
trying
gonna
to
have
say
a brain fart
representative.
here.
Okay, bye. I'm gonna go back on mute for a little.
So we would go down to the Capitol and we would talk to our representatives and kind of give them a spiel on what's going on with our industry and ask them for help and that kind of thing. So that's where I think my brother, he kind of found his interest in politics was from going to the Ag Day at the Capitol, because he really loved doing that side of things, whereas I was more interested in going and sitting in like his marketing meetings or something, and I would think that was super interesting. So I'm very thankful that we have an association like that that really is a voice for our industry. So growing up, I never thought I wanted to get back into agriculture, but after I kind of did my own thing and I realized I did want to go back into agriculture, I realized I didn't have a formal ag education, even though there's not really like you can't take a college course on like how to grow cranberries or anything, but having some sort of agronomy background would have been nice. But obviously you're blinding me with whatever you're doing. You're still on mute.
The sun is coming through my window at like this perfect angle, and I can't make it stop.
I didn't know if it was like your screen was falling off, and I'm just kidding.
Nope, just hot mess over here. Okay.
Oh, that's fine. Anyway, so I realized I didn't have like a formal education, but I wanted to get some sort of education or just kind of better myself in any way that I could, because I knew I had disadvantages from the other employees here. Like I don't have a mechanical background. I don't have the strength. I don't have like the brawn that these guys do. So I wanted to have a different approach to being a farmer out here. So I wanted to get like the business side of things. So the Growers Association offered like this leadership course where you can go through and do like media training. You can do like business training. So you learn how to interact with different generations. You find out your personality type and how you can work with other personalities to become a better leader on your farm. You can do let's see, there was one where it's like a political one, so you could learn how to lobby and go talk to your representatives, and that was a really great course that they offered. And then there's just so much that you can get involved with. So I've kind of really done everything I can, take on as many roles as I can on that side of things. And I think that's kind of what helped me gain the confidence enough to start the social media pages, because I had that background in like our media training. They teach you what to say and what not to say. If a cameraman shows up on your doorstep asking, how's harvest looking this year? Like, how's your crop looking? We had a terrible spring. How did that affect you? And it really taught me how to take a negative situation and spin it into a positive for publicity reasons. Like if they're saying like, oh, your spring and summer were awful, we know you're having a terrible crop, how do you feel about that? Like, no one wants to be asked those awful questions. How are you going to take that and spin it into a positive way and be like, yeah, we did have a terrible growing season, but that's one reason for you to buy cranberries. Like, we could really appreciate the support because we're not having a great year, or just because you're not, things like that. And so that's been very helpful for me to get involved. So if you are looking to get more involved in your farm life, but you're like social media isn't your thing, get involved with like associations that your state offers, or get involved in different organizations for your, just in your industry, and just reach out and see how many different ways you can get involved, because a lot of farmers need their voices heard, and a lot of, everyone needs to be
I'm so sorry.
every industry needs a voice, and the more voices that they have, the louder that your voice is going to be heard, and changes are going to start happening. So if you don't speak up, you're just kind of leaving the risk that someone else is going to speak up for you and they might not be saying the right things. So that's my little spiel on why you should be involved in everything that you can too. And I think a lot of it, and if you want to take that a step further, if you are okay with like public speaking, well, what are you doing?
Very hard time.
It's like you're just taking a magnifying glass to the window. It's just
I was trying to hold a blanket up so that it would stop, but I'm just gonna cut half my head off because the sun is out of it now. We're good. Okay.
So I don't like talk. I don't know why. I don't really like talking about all the different things I'm involved in. I mean, there's a lot that I do kind of behind the scenes I don't really talk about. But one of the things that I've been doing a lot more is interviews with a lot of big things, a lot of big organizations, a lot of big media outlets. And I'm given those opportunities because I am involved in so many different things. So at first, like the Wisconsin Cranberry Growers Association would reach out to me, their PR person, and say, hey, we have this media outlet that wants to do an interview about cranberries. Are you available to handle this? And here's kind of XYZ what they're looking for. So like that Charlie Barron's video that we did last year, that was through the Cranberry Growers Association. And they knew that they could trust me and my family enough to handle that professionally. So say yes to those opportunities. And then it kind of evolved from that. They knew I had this training. They knew my dad had this training. So that we're just kind of handed these media opportunities. And then I took leadership courses through Ocean Spray that they had offered to the growers, and they knew that I had this media training. They knew that, having a presence on social media is nice, but they know that I'm not going to say anything stupid to media. Like, yeah, our season sucked. It is what it is, and just kind of shut it down. I'm able to have a positive spin on things. I know how to like turn conversations from a negative to a positive. Like that kind of thing is important if you want to do like media things. So Ocean Spray started reaching out to me to do different interviews, do different media opportunities, which has been really awesome in bringing a lot of attention to the industry. So it's a lot to handle. It's a lot of pressure, but I think I kind of stopped looking at it, because a lot of people say like, how do you handle that? Like, how do you work? How do you give an interview for like I think is going to be a national news piece? How do you handle that pressure? And it's like, well, I just kind of take a step back and I just have a conversation with somebody. I don't think about who all is going to see this in the end, because I don't know. Like, I don't know if like one person's going to see it or thousands of people are going to see it. I just know that I'm having a conversation with one person at that time, and that's kind of all I focus on in that moment. So future me, that's a future me problem to think about who all is going to see it. But I can't do anything at that time anyway. So in that moment, I just worry about interacting one-on-one and being as authentic as I can. So that's been fun. I've gotten to talk to a lot of really cool people and had really great conversations. I just sat down with a reporter from CNN over this last weekend to talk about women in agriculture, and they didn't reach out through like Ocean Spray or the Cranberry Growers Association. They reached out to me personally to have this interview. There's a truck going by. So they reached out to me personally, and because they Googled like female farmer Wisconsin or like female cranberry grower or something. I don't know what they searched for. Like somehow I was the first
Search
thing
for
that popped
badass
up.
chick.
Yeah.
You just popped
Yeah.
right up.
I just popped right up, and that kind of put things in perspective for me. Like, yeah, it's cool to do all these interviews and stuff, but someone has always been like handling that for me. Like they've just given them to me and no one has like approached me like that on their own. So to have someone from like a big reporter from CNN reach out and be like, hey, I want to do this piece about women in agriculture and we love your podcast. We love the idea behind your podcast. And your presence on social media. What do you say to sit down and talk about it? It's like, holy shit, like, sorry, but that's nuts to me because this all started from
just sharing
nothing.
your story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And
sharing your everyday life.
Yeah. And that's wild to me. Like it's bananas that people want to follow you, like not you personally, like, you know, like people want to follow your story and like, why? I don't do anything that interesting. Yeah, I grow a crop that, you know, not a lot of people see, but people aren't always interested in your crop. They're interested in your story is what I found that people like so much. Like if you are authentic and you just have fun and just show what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, like that's what people want to see. They don't want to see like over edited pictures. They don't want to see you with like 10 filters on. They want to see like we talk about every week, the real reels. And I'm on a soapbox right now. You could just tell me to shut up.
You're doing good.
But,
I was muted because Jackson's crying. So you just keep talking. I'm going to go grab.
But like, that's what people want to see. And that's what they want to hear about is just authenticity and what goes on every single day, even though it might not seem the most exciting to you. Like that might be a foreign concept to someone else. When we had this reporter out over the weekend, she came from Washington, D.C. and the first thing she said was like, I had no idea cranberries were grown in Wisconsin because I always thought it was just an East Coast thing. And so to tell her that, you know, no, Wisconsin grows over half the world's supply of cranberries, she was just blown away. And she was also just like wildly impressed with the image of cranberries during harvest, you know, to see that in real life, something that I see every day and I sometimes take for granted. I forget that people have no idea what that does look like, or they have no idea what the industry is like outside of harvest. They have no idea what cranberries grow on or anything. So what I sometimes take for granted, I forget that people are amazed by. So I mean, same with me and like talking to Becca right away, like I had no idea. I knew nothing about cows. I mean, I still call them different brands of cows, but you know, I knew nothing about it. And I thought that was so fascinating. I think like row crop farming is so fascinating because I know nothing about it. And it's just so unique and foreign. So to look like past your nose sometimes is pretty cool to see, especially on social media. There's a lot out there to explore, and it's just fun connecting with different people. So there's my little soapbox rant for you.
Oh, it's great. Sorry, just scared Jackson. I guess I missed the first part of that conversation, obviously, but to know that, you know, you can share your story and still relate to people on a certain level, but to also like teach them about where their food comes from, or, you know, just learn about different crops. Like you said, I mean, I know nothing about the crops that we grow. I'm learning slowly, but it's never really interested me. Like cows are my thing. I can talk about cows all day long. So it's always interesting to follow other people just to kind of get their perspective on farming and like see what they do, especially in different parts of the country. And then, like you said, community, just being able to build a community and like meet like-minded people, but also, I mean, complete strangers that they just follow you because they think what you're doing is interesting. And then you become close with them because, you know, you can just communicate about certain things and find different things that you might relate on, you know. And
that's how we started this podcast.
Yeah, it is so cool that you can do that kind of stuff. Right.
Yeah. And I think the pandemic, like as unfortunate as that was and is, I think social media really helped connect a lot of people. I mean, we were forced to stay inside and everyone was on their phones. So a lot of, at least for me anyway, I don't want to speak for everyone, but like a lot of my connections happened during the pandemic when I couldn't go out and talk to people. So I'm just making connections through social media. Again, like with you and pretty much everyone else on Instagram. Like it's just crazy how much you can do through your phone.
It's a little scary, but
yeah, it's scary, but it's also very cool. Just so many opportunities that can be presented because you just share pictures of your life or you share videos. Like, yes, it's very scary thinking, you know, if you want to think about the whole whatever, but it's also very cool and very rewarding as well.
Jackson's really
So
into this.
he is. He's gonna be a little advocate here pretty soon.
Oh, he's nice and quiet though. The other
He's a good
two
boy.
finally went outside.
Did you tell him to go chase some chickens?
I'm telling them to go outside, they didn't want to, and then Joe wanted to, but Sophia didn't want to, and then finally, I don't know, they put on their shoes and they left.
Bless
I
them.
think that the pandemic, like you said, a lot more people are on their phone, and I personally saw a shift in like everyone wanted to buy local because, you know, there was the shortages with the grocery stores, and it wasn't necessarily a meat shortage, but the plants were shut down. Like things just weren't getting processed like they should have been. And so all of a sudden we saw these like Facebook groups popping up of people that wanted to buy beef, and that was pretty awesome. It was coincidentally the year that we kind of started selling a lot more beef, especially by the cut at the farmers markets and stuff. So I think in a way it was terrifying because, you know, I was like, okay, I signed up for this farmers market. I got all this beef. Like, what if they don't even have the farmers market? But we were lucky enough that they kept it on, and there was probably less people than there would have been, but a lot of people online still were looking for beef and were really kind of wanting to connect with people locally because they knew that they might not get it in the grocery store. So that was kind of a plus for us. And two, I don't like people that much. So being able to connect with more people over the phone is more my speed, but I know
that's like the introvert's dream is just to talk to people through their phone and just not actually meet them.
Sometimes
that's me, for sure.
Sometimes I get asked like, how do you talk to like thousands of people on your phone? And I'm like, I'm literally just talking to my phone. Like you said with your interviews, you're just having a conversation with someone. And I don't think about the people that are going to see it. And it's just, I don't know, it's easy for me. But then at the same time, I've done a few like Zoom meetings now, and that I'm getting better at them, but I'm not a huge public speaker. Like if you put me in a room full of people and want me to talk out loud, count me out. Like that's not my jam. But like Zooms are a little bit easier because I feel like, you know, people are obviously still watching you, but you're not like face, you know, right in front of them. So I don't know. It's been really cool. And I know, you know, the Cranberry Growers Association has a lot of media training, and the dairy industry especially too has a lot too. So, you know, if you're in that avenue and you kind of want to get involved, Professional Dairy Producers of Wisconsin is probably like the number one place I would look. PDPW. It's been a long time since I did media training with them, but they had a great program where they kind of like with you, they, you know, gave you talking points, key messages to get across. They helped you to know like how to do TV interviews, and like you do like spin a negative into a positive, you know, because the dairy industry is full of misconceptions that we have to continually answer to. But PDPW does a lot of great things. And then I know the Wisconsin Farm Bureau, I mean, they've always got great leadership classes, and the discussion meets that they do, like they've got a lot of great media training. Unfortunately, I haven't done any lately just because a lot of them are like quite a big time commitment. And I'm at a stage in my life where I can't do that. But if you're interested in getting more media training or learning kind of a better way to tell your story, or like at a more professional level, I guess you could say, those are two places I would definitely look into.
Yeah. And I know there's like a lot of like quote unquote Instagram coaches out there too. So if you are interested in like growing your audience or something, you don't necessarily need like a coach or anything. Maybe just follow your like favorite accounts and see what they're doing to grow too. That's kind of what I've been doing. Just follow trends, I guess, see like what other people are doing, like how they're using hashtags, if they're using hashtags, what they're using, tag people in your post just to widen your reach or whatever. Or if you like have more specific questions, you can always reach out to us. Not that we're professionals by any means, but we can always try to help you, or like take a look at your profile and see what's going on. Or if we have any recommendations for you, we can always try to help you in any way. Because that's what we're here for, to help you guys. Sometimes, if we have time.
We try. That's a good point. I think there's a lot of good courses that you can take online. I am personally a cheap ass. But I think the biggest thing is just like engaging with your audience, you know, engaging with your audience and engaging with other accounts. That's kind of like the easiest way to meet new people, and I think boost your engagement. You think so?
Yeah. Because it seems like Instagram is just changing every day. Like the algorithm is just changing so much that you can't keep up with it. Like
no,
one day,
I don't understand it at all.
No. So don't take it too seriously unless you're getting paid unless Instagram is like your main job and you're getting paid to do that. Don't stress about it too much. Like if you don't post every day, life goes on. You know, don't stress yourself out, like create ulcers by creating like a posting schedule or something. Like it's not that serious. Just
when at the end of the day, social media is only one avenue to tell your story and to kind of spread the good word about what you're doing. So if social media you find isn't your thing, reach out to news stations or local newspapers, because a lot of the times they love to write about agriculture, but it's, you know, not always something totally on their radar. Or, you know, if you can come to them with a story idea, I think that obviously is probably pretty good in their eyes, because it's one less thing for them to have to worry about. And then, you know.
Like the CNN interview, when they wanted to talk about women in agriculture, it all came about because there was like a journalist from Time magazine, I think. She wanted to try to buy and consume products that were from women-based companies or like woman-run organizations, and she could do everything except eat. Like she had a really hard time finding farms that were run and owned by women, and like just like restaurants that were owned and run by women. So they started taking a closer look at women in agriculture and seeing like the numbers jump up and all that other good stuff.
It's like 30 some percent now are farms that are like managed at least by women.
Yeah. So if you're interested in talking about your experience on the farm, reach out to a media outlet, find this story about women in agriculture, and just, you know, be like, hey, if you're interested, I'd love to talk more about it. And they're probably gonna say yes. Like I can't guarantee it, but they that's a cool story to run with. And if you're confident talking about it, go do it, because it's a cool topic to talk about, and just brag about yourself for a minute. Talk about how much of a badass you are. Everyone loves to hear those stories.
Mm-hmm. And their story is worth sharing. I say that all the time, but it really is, because if you don't tell it, someone else is going to tell it, and it's not going to be the narrative that you want.
Right. Take a look at these documentaries on Netflix about farms, about animal. We're not going to go there, but just know that, you know, there are people out there that are putting a negative spin on agriculture, farming, that are huge misconceptions, and they don't do the research, and they don't talk to real farmers. And we need to
Mm.
change that perspective that we're not bad guys. We're feeding the world, and people take us for granted. So
Mhm.
share your story.
Here, here.
That is all I have to say about that. Right, Jackson? He's like,
Oh,
girl, stop talking.
he'd probably be more interested if he could hear you, but
Oh,
I got the headphones in, so he probably doesn't know what's happening. Right, he's like, oh, mom's talking to herself again. What a weirdo.
nothing new there.
Yeah, I think that's all I have. If, like I said, if you want to learn more about media training and stuff, check out PDPW or Wisconsin Farm Bureau, or if you're not in Wisconsin, any of the farm bureaus, I think, have pretty great programs. And I'm sure there's more. I know Holstein Association has I forget what they call it. It's like a Young Distinguished Leaders Institute, might be the name of it, where they do a ton of media training and leadership training, things like that. I know that Wisconsin Farm Bureau has a women's specific program, which is really cool. So that'd be something to check out if you're into that. I know it's pretty rigorous, but the experience and the knowledge that you're going to gain from it are going to be worth it. But yeah, I think that if you want to tell your story more and you want to kind of branch out, I think the best thing to do is just look for those opportunities, and don't be scared if someone is going to say no. Like, I think if you're reaching out to share your story to the media and stuff, most of the time they're going to be interested in what you have to say, because any positive note that we can give agriculture is going to go over well. So I think you just got to believe in yourself and take the leap.
Yeah. Just say yes to opportunities until you get to the point where you just become overwhelmed and you have to say no. So just say yes. Just say yes as often as you can. And the more practice you have at it, the easier it gets and the more natural it seems. The first time you do an interview, it will probably suck. I'm not going to lie, but you can watch it again and be like, oh yeah, I didn't make enough eye contact. I didn't, X, Y, Z, whatever. But that's how you learn and that's how you grow, is by, sometimes screwing up. So just don't be afraid to fail, because you've all done it. It's fine.
And sometimes, if it's not a live interview and you know right away, wow, I messed up, you can always ask like, hey, can I redo that? I know like the Focus on Energy interview that I did, like I had to do like a short introduction, and I did it. And then about like 10 minutes later, I was just replaying it in my head. I'm like, that was awful. Like I said nothing that I wanted to say. And so I was like, I don't want to like make their life more difficult by having to redo it. But I was just like, if it's not too big of a deal, could I maybe film that? And she's just like, oh, of course. Like, yeah, you go ahead. And then I felt a lot better about it. But even if they would have played it, I'm sure it would have been fine. We're always like our toughest critic, and it would have been whatever. But
yeah,
I think it's one of those things you just
everyone.
get better.
Yeah. I tell that to everyone that is a guest on our show. I'm like, if you ever say something that you just think is really stupid, just say it and I'll edit it out. Like, it's not a big deal. But yeah, the live interviews are always more pressure. No take backs there.
Yeah.
But anyway, is there anything else you'd like to add?
There's tons of worms outside.
There's tons of worms outside?
Yeah, under that black thing.
Oh, you gonna collect them?
It's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Cool. Go put them in a cup or something.
Can I take a picture? Now I really know them.
Why don't you get your tablet and take a picture?
No.
Yeah, I take my phone. I'm gonna have about 100 pictures of worms on my phone now.
Share it to social media. Godspeed to your phone.
so many worms. And on the bright side, the screen protector's already cracked, so what's the worst they can do? I've been eyeing up that new 13 Pro Max anyways. So
Yeah, that does look pretty nice.
I know like the video quality. I mean, not that I have the 12 Pro Max right now, so it's not like a bad phone, but every time a new iPhone comes out, you're just like, I want it.
I need it.
And Joey always makes fun of me, but I'm like, it's for like, I mean, higher quality videos and stuff I can take for social media. It's, I totally
Tax
need it.
write-off. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a farm expense.
Oh, big yawn.
Okay, I will let you go wrangle some worms.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous that my phone's gonna be full of mud, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. So if you guys aren't following us already, make sure you give us a like and follow over at Forward Farming Podcast. Becca is over at Farming with the Hillbees. I'm over at Cranberry Chats. And if you haven't left us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, feel free to do so. And we will see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Is it nice? More.
Bye.
Bye.